We are then back at Gold's Gym. Little workout today. I'm going to hit some triceps, superset like tricep exercises with extension and press movements. Once triceps are really pumped up because they're the bigger muscle group, I'm going to move on to biceps, focus on that long head and short head, and then towards the end we'll just throw some forearms in there, superset and put a little circuit together so we hit tris, bis and forearms, and let's get a little warm up going first.
Empty cups, ashtrays flooded with talker habits, the hearts we spare. With the blue moon, I saw through you. Cold eyes in a distant stare. Don't you ask me what my tattoos mean, 'cause they ain't for you.
Little tricep warm up. So what I was doing there, I was doing an extension with some French extensions or skull crushes. But here's what I like about skull crushes. Instead of having the arm at a right angle to the floor, I have it a little bit more of a 45-degree angle. Therefore, as I flex my elbow and extend, I've always got tension on that long in the medial head. So it's a great stretch, therefore a good warm up for the triceps. I've supersetted that with some behind the back bench dips. So more of a press movement along with an extension, and then just some light stretching. Stretching out the tricep by putting down on a pole behind. Elbow joints feel good, so now I'm going to go on and really get some heavy weight on it with the tricep press downs. More of a mass builder. Then we can start to work in some detail and be nicely warmed up for the bicep.
And they ain't for me. I ain't getting over anyone at all. You can't pick me up if I don't ever fall. Hey stranger, wanna know me truly? Step closer, it's a broken spell. Keep me up, make me feel something. Maybe then I could show and tell.
Tricep press downs. This is a great machine. I like the machine because I can load a lot of weight up. So very early on in my arm workouts, this is exercise number 2, but it's the first main work set because the first one, the extensions, was still a warm up. So early on in the workout, I want to load up and lift and manage as much weight as I can. And these tricep seated push downs allows me to put a lot of load, a lot of weight through my triceps. Hence why this is one of the best mass builders for triceps. So get the bigger lifts done early on in the workout after a warm up. And then once you kind of hit the threshold, then you can start to work your way through more of the isolation, machine or cable exercises. So let's go check out a cable press down, a few different variations, then finish off with a little isolation work before moving on to biceps. Here with tricep press down. No real difference in weight. At this point in the game, I'm allowing fatigue to catch up with me. I've already hit my threshold with the heavier weights. There's only so long into the workout that I can keep trying to push heavy. So midway through for that muscle group, triceps, I'm going to maintain that sort of a heavy weight and just do 3 if not 4 sets of the same rep. Fatigue is going to catch up with me, and where I'm working at is to be able to push past the 1 or 2 reps beyond the point at which I fatigue. But this is definitely pushed me. 2 more exercises, I'm going to superset them. We'll do a dumbbell kickback, real nice squeeze and contraction in the tricep. And I'll probably just superset them with like just an overhead dumbbell extension. So let's finish that off, and then arms are feeling really good to move on and start getting all of that blood pulled round into the front of my arm now.
Left no number, got my hair like the autumn leaves.
About halfway through mid-workout, let's get some BCAAs, about 10 grams of BCAAs for the rest of my workout. Even though I don't have a shaker cup, just kind of we get by, we use whatever we need to. So an old sports bottle here, BCAA, water, now we're good, let's get on.
Undercovers, I showed myself, I'm the
cap on triceps then. So little warm up, 2-3 exercises, no more than 5 minutes. Went on to the bigger, heavier compound type movements, the press down. Then on to some cables, full extension, full range of motion, so I can really engage the muscle and squeeze the arm when it's at full length. And then look, don't underrate tricep kickbacks, either with a cable or dumbbells, either a single arm or dual. I feel it hits a part of the muscle with the kickbacks that you can't really get from any other tricep exercise. So even though there's a lot of machines about, cables, and it's kind of mentally psychs you up to lift more weight, tricep kickbacks definitely deserve a place within your tricep workout. And I'm just supersetting that kickback movement with another dual hand overhead extension. Arms are feeling pumped, my elbow joint and all the tendons are feeling nicely warmed up as well. So whilst I've still got a really good pump in my arms, I'm going to move on. Maybe just 2 combo exercises for biceps. Again, focusing on the long head with elbows at the side and short head, elbows round in front. So let's get to it.
Your fingertips on my skin, there's nothing that I wouldn't give to keep this love alive. We gave it all, we gave it up. The chemistry was not enough. Oh, we just collide. I hate myself when I say.
Every now and again, I'll pull out something like this from the bag. I call it surfing the rack. Could be technically it's a triple drop set or a tricep. But my point is, I'm now with a new muscle group. You've hit triceps hard, I'm on to biceps. My arms are already warmed up. Biceps are being worked as an ancillary muscle, an opposing muscle group to my triceps. So I don't need to warm them up. I did a couple of intermediate sets, then I went heavy. Heavy enough to get some good form and really feel that contraction. So this final set on my arm curl, call it the Goldilocks effects. You got the big, you got the medium, and you got the little. With that little one on that 3rd drop set, whew, that's the one that kills me. And I was just saying, I could sleep right now. I feel drained, I'm tired. But look at what we're doing. We're putting the work in, it's still a good workout, even though mentally you might not be on that same level. And this goes back to what I was saying in my last video that we filmed here. And that is, not every workout is going to be as good as you expect or as good as the last workout. But don't base that as your marker. This isn't not a good workout just because I'm not feeling as revved up, as motivated. I'm still going through it. So that's the take-home message. Go through the motions. Some days you're going to be able to push it a little bit higher. Other days you're not. You're going to feel a little bit more tired, maybe less motivated. That doesn't mean you should walk away. Find something different to do, switch it up, keep on pushing through. So let's move on and do some incline dumbbell curls to really stretch out the bicep head and target that long head on the outer part. Am I doing dumbbell curls on an incline bench? It comes down to this, angles. By changing it from vertical angle to 30, 40, 45% back, there's a lot more strain on my bicep. Up here, this is the strain, it's a vertical one against gravity. Now, I've got a constant working against gravity as I curl up to overcome that force. So by taking the shoulders back at more of an incline, there's a lot more stress always on that bicep. So here, maximum tension on the bicep. If I'm sat upright, there's less so. So it comes down to angles and working the muscle group, the bicep in this example, through a fuller range of motion, and that's exactly what I'm doing on this exercise. Stuck with the same weight, 9, 10, 11, 12 reps, whatever I can manage from that, and not cheating too much. You see, the final rep, I'm sort of trying to lift that weight up, but then I'm sort of bringing in a negative. I'm resisting the weight more so from falling back down. So a lot of different forces at play within this workout, a lot of different angles, and I'm just having fun with the techniques. As you see, I'm not writing it down, I'm going off memory. I'm doing it long enough to kind of know what I need to do to work that muscle. And if you have a look at the previous workouts, it's the same kind of style, but it's still different. There's still subtle differences within the workouts and the techniques. With that being said, we're going to move on, hit some cables, and then finish off with some more isolation for the biceps. Then that's tries and bis done.
For me one more time, I will miss you, torn apart after tonight, and we can't fix it. Rush over me one more time. The end is coming. Rush over me, 'cause I will miss you.
We've hit it all so far in today's arm workout. Compound movements, barbells, cables, dumbbells, isolation as well. Don't forget when you're training a muscle, any muscle group, whether it's chest, back, legs, arms, that just because we often train them together doesn't mean that you can't train them independently. The benefit of isolating and working your arms independently, twofold. One, you tend to highlight any weaknesses, whether it's you've got a stronger arm, a more dominant muscle group, therefore we need to focus more on that weaker side, or you just find that you sort of have a muscle imbalance and you're able to perform the exercise easier on that one, which highlights what's going on with the left arm. So two things to keep in mind when you're training independently. Arm curl, we get to support the arm, so all of that effort is kind of done by the short head of the bicep, short head being this thicker under muscle just because of how it inserts to the body. So lots of variations, even though muscles typically with biceps, it's a bicep, there's two heads. People think dumbbell curls and a barbell curl is about it. That's not true. Lots of angles are needed to really stimulate and maximize the growth in the bicep. Hence why you see me do a lot of exercises for my arms. Even though I'm not doing that much volume, I'm just adding a lot of variety. Speaking of which, I did say I'm going to hit the forearms. They've been worked a little bit with the biceps, but now I just want to go and do a circuit for forearms, a couple of reverse easy bar curls, and then do some wrist and reverse seated wrist curls, just to get the forearms a little bit of love and not let them lag behind. So, a little bit of that. So forearms are much like calves and the abdominals in the sense that A, they can take a punishing because they're more of a slow twitch muscle fiber. They're an endurance muscle fiber. So calves, forearms, abdominals, they get worked a lot all of the time. Unlike bicep, back, quads, chest, which kind of get pumped up pretty quickly and then don't have as much endurance. So the key to really stimulating forearms is volume, intensity. I like to do a circuit, 2 or 3 different exercises. You saw me doing the reverse easy bar curl, which hits this area of the arm. Then some reverse dumbbell wrist curls, a little bit lower down. You can see the muscle working there. There's the difference between reversing the arm up like this, so this chunk of the muscle has to assist to the wrist moving, and then if I rotate round, we're doing this one. It's the bulk of the sort of the underside of the muscle. So variation, volume and intensity when it comes to forearms, as with calves and abs. And rep range, you know, I'm hitting I'm hitting more than I would for large muscle groups, 15, sometimes 20 repetitions, and for a circuit, normally 3 circuits. So it's very easy to hit your forearms and abs, and even calves and abs, 15 minutes at the end of every other workout. Therefore, you're not letting them fall behind as far as stimulating them and actually working them within the muscle. So there's no excuse. Get your forearms in at the end of the arm workout, get your calves in at the end of a leg workout. Abs, they can be done around cardio time or after something like a back or chest workout. There is no excuse. On that note, I'm gonna go get cleaned up, get my shake, and I'll see you guys outside.
Before we lose this,
Workout done. It was a good workout. It was a great workout, actually. Listen, like I said in there, even if the mentality, the focus, the energy may not be there from past workouts, if you find yourself going in, don't let that distract you. Don't let it hold you back. My advice would be find something different to do. Don't try and push through and do the same workout and try and match when you had a great workout. If you're not feeling that, change the direction. Doesn't mean go off and do a full body circuit or go out for a run instead, although if that's what you feel like, do it. What I mean is, find a different route to get you to that same destination. I was training arms. If I didn't have the same energy to be able to do the same exercises that I did the last week, I'm gonna find different exercises to do. I might find just cables and superset them, or do more drop sets, or do lighter weights and do a circuit. What I'm saying is, if you don't have that same intensity, just find a different way of doing it. Get to that same destination, but from a different route. So use more cables, use a lighter weight, and do a circuit. The workouts don't and shouldn't be the same as they did before. So on that note, had my BCAAs in there, a little coffee before that you saw, just a scoop and a half of whey protein. I'm gonna eat again in about an hour, and we'll see you guys back here real soon. Take care.